Today on the newscast, learn how cutting-edge Israeli technology is helping to protect American families. Next. Hey folks, Erick Stakelbeck here. Welcome to the Watchman Newscast. We've been talking a lot here lately about Iran and its terror proxies and how they're on the march. So, it's great to be able to bring some positive news today about good triumphing over evil, especially with Christmas just a few days away. We've told you over the past few weeks about Canopy. It's an incredible internet filter that detects and blocks explicit content on your kids' devices in real time. And it's the only tool out there that I know of that can deter and prevent sexting. Now, we know that Israel is a mini Silicon Valley in the middle of the desert. Well, Canopy is cutting-edge Israeli technology, and it's now available here in the States. It's software specifically developed to enable families to enjoy the good of the internet without the bad, and there's plenty of that out there, as we all know. Remember, I'm the watchman first and foremost in my home, where I'm dad to a teenager and a preteen. I spoke to the co-founder of Canopy, Rabbi Moshe Weiss, who joined us from Israel to explain how Canopy works and why it's been made for such a time as this. Take a look and stick around afterwards to learn how you can get Canopy for your devices with a special Watchman discount. We've got a lot to discuss today, but I want to ask you first and foremost, how did you come up with the idea for Canopy, this incredible internet filter that protects American families, and what does Canopy do?
And a group of educators, rabbis, some concerned mothers got together and said, we got to do something, take responsibility. We can't sublet the education and the culture of our children to big tech. It's not going to happen. And very quickly, they first analyzed what are the problems, because you can block certain websites, but there's so much mixed content. And this is before social media. There's basic information, search engines. And some very of the brightest that Israel has got together to think what are the issues it has to be to make it successful. It has to be seamless. It has to be able to deal with mixed content, to be able to deal with anything that children will be exposed to, and it should be seamless, and it should be a good experience of internet. And they came to me about 4 months after the very beginning, and we put our minds together. And after, we do believe we are blessed by God, the grace of the technological people, the engineers, and tremendous spirit between the workers that got involved. And we, within a very short time, we have now thousands and thousands of families who have decided that this is the system we want to use for our kids. And basically, the concept always was these systems will protect children from pornography. That was the goal. That was the main thing. Yes, we do block gambling, extreme violence, things of addictive nature, but the goal was to protect the children, our families, our traditions, our values, and it should be coherent to the lifestyle that we share and that what we believe in. So that was the beginning, how we started. And after about 4 years, about 10 years ago, we realized the future is no longer on PCs, but on these gadgets on the smartphone. And it was the very beginning, but we had some we had that, thank God we had that foresight. And we put the developers and said, you guys go for the iOSs and the Androids. And it took a few years. And I am proud to say that we have, I think, the best internet solution tech families in the world today. The parents will have the opportunity through this to fulfill their responsibility as parents. And that's what's transpired here in Israel twofold. Number one, today in Israel, it's like a cultural thing that, you have the filter, you know that your home is protected. Parents can stay out of when the kids come home, parents don't have to be worried the kids are going somewhere where it's not safe. Number two is what's happened in Israel, and I boast from it. We have thousands or tens of thousands of young boys and girls taking responsibility on themselves, on their own initiative. There's a grassroots movement of young men, young girls, 18 years old, 20 years old, soldiers. They all want to have the filter on their phone. It's like a status symbol. Wow. You have a sticker on the phone. My phone is a kosher phone. It's like it's a filtered phone. And girls won't want to date a boy who doesn't have a filter? Which kind of girl wants to go to a boy who doesn't have a filter on his phone? It's a social standard brought to you by young men and women. And that's a tribute, to the society. And I think it's an anchor for all of us. We're today's generation where everybody's free choice and everyone's taking responsibility and fulfilling themselves. It's part of the equation today where young men and women, teenagers and younger say, this is what I want. This is the type of culture I want for myself.
Hey, cutting edge Israeli technology, as we mentioned, people might say, well, he's a rabbi. What does he know about technology? You know a bit about technology. Tell us a bit about your background and how you came to this.
Okay, well, actually, I started my career as an educator in 1990. I formed a high school for kids coming out of the Soviet Union, former Soviet Union. Then I went to work in government, 1996 for Nathan Sharansky. And after working in government, I went to work in the high-tech industry in Israel, 20 years, helping companies which are doing projects helping society. 14 years ago is when we realized that we got to bring the best to deal with this issue, because this is going to be a real need for everyone, for every individual, for every school. Yeah, the high school, no, the entire Department of Education in Israel today is on our technology. All the schools, elementary schools, high schools, libraries are using this technology. This is something which was for us is about 5 years ago. And as years go by, they got better and better, more seamless. And the challenge was smartphones. Every kid has a smartphone. It used to be you got your smartphone when you were 16, then you got to 13. I don't know, you guys are in America. Here it's about, 10 years old, 12 years old.
I have two daughters, 15 and 11. They're right at that age where they're getting barraged by this negative, explicit content. But you also, look, 10 children, many, many grandchildren. Tell us why this is a personal cause for you and something really that God, I believe, brought you to in your work with Canopy.
Look, I'll share with you. My parents both were Holocaust survivors. I have actually a picture here. This is my father here in the middle of the picture. Dad and mom both wound up in Auschwitz-Birkenau, taken from Hungary, from a village. And my father lost his whole family. He had a wife and a daughter, brothers, sisters, parents, everyone was wiped out. So my father was a sole survivor. And he was a very loving man, a man of faith, a furniture maker, carpenter, loved Israel, we loved America. We appreciate the blessing that we had in the state. Father raised 4 children in America, but I'll share with you, he was traumatized. He was a post-trauma. He was 31 years old, lost his family, and whenever there was an existential threat to the Jewish people afterwards, it was pretty tense in the house. 6-day war, Yom Kippur War. I was 7 years old, 11 years old. I could tell you stories at a separate time. I'll tell you stories about a Holocaust survivor watching Walter Cronkite, watching the map, the Iraqi army, Egyptian army. He was threatened, Jews are going to get wiped out again. This is like 20, 30 years after Auschwitz, So existential threats don't sit well with any of us. And therefore, I saw this with other people that, family is our life, raising our children. That's the next picture. This is my own tribe. We have, thank God, I'm blessed with 10 children. In 35 years of raising the kids, marrying them off, and there were no breaks. With constant raising the children with values, with tradition, with a sense of mission, and to fulfill their responsibilities. And this is we don't label it like that, but it's an existential threat. You have parents with their lives after raising their children with faith, with values, with the proper values which they've gotten from their parents or from our great parents and generation to generation. And now you have, we're not going to let the tech companies redefine for us basic values in our lives.
This product comes along and it's here in the United States now, just when we need it, when things in our culture are out of hand, kids are exposed to these negative, destructive influences. Now more than ever, great things happening with Canopy. It is an answer to prayer for Christians here and people of faith here in the United States for sure. Moshe, it was great talking to you. I look forward to being with you in Jerusalem, hopefully next year, hopefully 2022 in Jerusalem in person, my friend. God bless you, Moshe. Thanks again. We really appreciate it.
Thank you very much.
Folks, Moshe is a great guy, and I really feel like he's doing God's work here with Canopy, protecting families and letting kids remain kids. That's why we're partnering with Canopy here at the Watchman Newscast. It's Israeli innovation at work, and I know it will bless your family. It's a great gift for your loved ones this Christmas. Just visit canopy.us/Watchman and use the discount code WATCHMAN15 to get a free 30-day trial and 15% off the price of your Canopy subscription. Folks, you can cover all of the devices in your home for as little as $8 a month, $8 with Canopy. It's a great deal, and hey, your kids are worth it. One last thing. Remember to join us tomorrow, Wednesday, December 22nd, for a Watchman Newscast live stream here on the channel between 4 and 5 p.m. Eastern Time, and be sure to bring your questions for our Q&A session. We've got a lot to discuss, and we'll be going live for a full hour. Thanks for joining us here today on the Watchman Newscast. Until tomorrow, God bless you. And remember, never hold your peace. Hey everyone, thanks for checking out the Watchman Newscast. If you enjoyed this episode and want to see more, make sure you go ahead and hit the like button, click subscribe, and tap the bell icon to turn on notifications for new Watchman Newscast episodes every weekday.